3, 2, 1.
Ooh. Welcome to this. Oh, you killed me. It's like an art. It's like a fine art that you can do this.
I know, it's pretty funny, especially because I can't see you. So, like, I don't know when you're. I mean, I do know when you're ready. That's how I can ruin it every time. But, like, I'm doing it because I know I'm just that good.
Shouldn't we be, like, synced up by now? It's been a lot of weeks.
Probably.
Okay. Welcome to this week's episode of the CC Mouse Podcast. We are good for your ears. I'm Dan. And as always, you can find me at RFS Dan or RFS Stan, depending on who you are.
And I'm Jess, and you can find me everywhere at Snow Dogs Blogs and Gone to the Snow Dogs.
You know, it seems like a week to everybody at home, but it's been like 3 days since we recorded.
Yeah.
So in the last 72 hours, what have you been up to?
It'll be like 3 more days till we record again, because don't we have to record again on Tuesday or something? Because I'm leaving town next weekend.
I think so. Where are you off to?
We're going camping.
Oh.
We're going camping. So I won't have any internet. It doesn't matter. I don't have any internet now.
Yeah, I know, right? We've almost gotten to the bottom of why you sound like Max Headroom every week.
Yeah. Blame Spectrum.
Don't you love them?
No, not at all.
I seen you tweeting at them the other day. Did they send a Spectrum bot out to see you?
So we had a technician come out today. Well, okay, back the truck up. So my brother lives right up the road from me. By right up the road, I legit mean right up the road. I can walk to his house. We're in the same neighborhood. Because we're in the same neighborhood, our internet is all like on the same thing. So when my internet goes down, my brother's internet goes down. So that's how we know, no matter what they tell us, that it's not our house, it's not our modems, it's not our lines, it's our neighborhood. Because when my internet goes down and my brother's internet goes down, and then they tell me it's the lines going into my house, I go, wow, that's weird. My brother's got the same issue at the same time.
I can see how they could think it's related. I mean, it is your brother.
Right. We are related. So my brother started calling, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. He was having major issues, and he was like, are you having issues? I'm like, yep, I've just learned to work around them because the frustration level is through the roof. Like, there's nothing else you can do. I'm like, you can call them. They'll come out. They'll tell you they can't fix it. And he's like, I'm calling them. So he called them. They came out. They told him they can't fix it. So as soon as they left and the internet went down, he called them again. They came back out. It was a different guy. And he goes, we can't fix it. So as soon as they left, he called them again. And then
Oh my gosh.
I'm not kidding. So I told him, I'm like, fine, if you're going to start the train, let's get this thing rolling. So he called the other day when it went out. I tweeted at him, blew him up on Twitter, and then was direct messaging them on Twitter. They said, all right, we're going to send a technician out to your house. So that was Wednesday. They told me they couldn't get a technician out to my house until today, which is Saturday. But my brother has had 3 technicians come out in that time, even though I couldn't get one till Saturday. So
right.
Figure that.
Right.
I think they now have him as like a high priority thing because he's called so many times, because I just message them again because I'm paying for gigabyte internet service and my download speeds are like between 50 and 100, and I pay for 1,000 and I'm not getting it.
Okay.
And I pay for 40 up and I'm only getting like 10.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah. So
here's the thing. I kind of got a little bit of a bone to pick with you. Okay, so why didn't you tell me this 2 weeks ago that your brother was having issues as well? You make me question my bandwidth masculinity here when I'm like, my internet's fine, and I'm questioning myself, and I'm trying to figure it out on my end, but it was never me. It was coming from your house. The dropped calls are coming from inside your house.
Yeah. Well, my neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope they fix it and it's only you're gonna have to go and campaign door to door to everybody in the neighborhood, and everybody's like, you know what, I do have slow internet. Now that you think about it, you guys are gonna have to all rise up with some sort of candlelight something to get them to, like, you know, fix the bigger issue.
So you want to know the best part?
Yes, please.
I know the guy that runs the Spectrum that used to be Charter. I know the guy that runs the office. Of course,
there's 14 people in your town. He probably went to school with you.
I literally have him on my phone and can text him anytime I want.
And you haven't?
Oh, I have.
Let's call him. Let's call him right now.
He's on vacation right now. I told him, I said, we need to go have lunch when you get back because we need to talk.
Is he on vacation or camping? Because I feel like there's a misconception in the words that you guys use in Michigan. Because you guys, when you go out on vacation, it's always just camping.
He's camping. He's camping up.
Okay, see, he's not on vacation. He's camping.
Yeah. Yeah. I messaged him the other day, and I messaged him. I'm like, "Hey, how's my favorite charter guy?" And he went, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Well," so I kind of like told him what was going on, and he goes, "I'm on vacation." And I'm like, "All right, well, I don't want to bother you while you're on vacation. Just know that I can't get work done because my internet doesn't work." So they sent the guy out today.
Right.
Super nice guy. We always have like the greatest technicians. Like they come out, they always love the dogs, they always want to talk. They literally walk in and go, "We already know what the problem is, but we're required to come out here and check and make sure that that's really what the problem is." What he told me as soon as he walked in. He goes, "We know it's not in your house, but I'll check all your lines."
I kind of respect that. I kind of respect that a little bit.
Oh yeah, yeah, and that's why like I can't get super mad because at least they're honest. But he came in and he checked all the lines downstairs. He did go outside and he said that the internet coming in from the pole outside was screaming at our house. He said it was way too much information screaming. And he goes, "Normally we put a splitter in and that slows everything down." He goes, "But the problem is the internet leaving your house is not as fast as it should be." So I'm like, of course. So he said he put more lines in, so it has to travel further to get to our modem. And he's like, that might fix it temporarily. He goes, "But I don't think that's what your issue is." He goes, "You probably don't even know that that's happening." And then, of course, I checked my speeds today, and yeah, I do know it's happening. But he did all that. And then he told me that a tech will come out tonight or tomorrow and actually fix it correctly. He just did it like a temporary thing. But they're going to come out and they'll remove all those wires and then they'll put new wires up.
I will say so far so good in the sense that we've been talking for about 40 minutes now or so before we started, and I have not heard you turn to garble yet.
Well, maybe that's because the internet's not screaming at my house currently.
Right, but you're paying for screaming, so you're gonna have to fix that.
I am paying for screaming. So he gets all done and he tells us that, and he goes, "So do you want to know what the problem is?" And I went, "Yeah." I said, "Is it still the lines coming into this neighborhood?" And he goes, "Yep, still the lines coming into your neighborhood." So we have huge shifts in temperature. And right now, past couple weeks, it can be 80 during the day and it'll drop down to like 45 to 50 at night. Mm-hmm. Very normal. Humid during the day, and then it kind of cools off at night. I think he said aluminum. The aluminum wires or the aluminum casing, I thought he said aluminum. They expand and contract in the heat and the cold. There's a crack in a line somewhere between Charter and our neighborhood. Ooh. But they can't find it because it only really happens when nobody's at work.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, they can find it, but like that's still like needle in a haystack-ish. Who knows what part of the line? Are your guys' lines all up above ground or below ground?
The Charter lines are mostly above.
Yeah, so they're gonna have to scroll on each inch of the line until they find it. That sounds like a big problem. That's not going to be rectified anytime soon.
I've been here for 8 years, and we've had it for the whole 8 years.
Uh-oh.
Yep. And they know it's happening. Like I said, I know the guy that runs the office here, and we've had the conversation. They know that it's broke, but it really only happens really bad in the spring and the fall. During summer, not so bad. During winter, not really so bad. Why? Because the temperature doesn't really change.
Right. Yeah. Right. So we might have some garbly winter episodes for you guys.
Yeah, so that's what they told me the problem is. And then he told me the same thing they told my brother. As soon as it goes down, call us again. We'll have a tech come out. Because eventually they're going to put everybody here on high priority and they'll have to fix it. And I'm like, yeah, that's what they've been telling me for 8 years. So.
Yeah.
Pretty sure they're not. And then when I asked him if he checked my speeds, he goes, I didn't even check. And I went, oh, he goes, why? What do you have? I'm like, I have gig service. And he goes, oh. He's like, there aren't that many people in Alpena that pay for gig service. I'm like, I know, because I'm not getting it.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, we know all of them because they all have tickets in right now for slow internet speeds.
I was first for that, though. That is the benefit of knowing the guy that runs the office. He texted me the day it was available before they even advertised that it was available. He texted me and he goes, it's here. And I went, I want it. And he goes, okay, you'll be first. So first, I got to be first.
Awesome. Hey, right now it's like almost 2 o'clock. How hot is it out there? It's 91 climbing here, and it's a super hot 91 today, whatever that's supposed to mean.
It's 68 degrees.
So is it like actually chilly?
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. It got down to 44 last night.
Oh wow, man, it's hot. It's blazing. Like it's hot, and it's only gonna get hotter.
Oh, it's so nice. I'm so excited for camping. This is perfect camping weather. When the daytime weather is like between 60 and 70, it's perfect. And then at night when it drops down to like the 40s, I love that. I don't know why, but I do. For me, that's like perfect because you get to the evening and it starts to get cold enough where you want to be in front of the fire during the day. You can do your hikes and stuff. I love it.
When it's chilly like that, the bugs aren't around as much, right?
Exactly.
They're all slow and like tired.
Yep, the bugs pretty much leave you alone. Mosquitoes don't really want to be out in that, so it's going to be perfect.
Yes.
I'm going up north tomorrow, and it looks like it's going to be beautiful tomorrow as well. So,
when you say up north, you're going over the bridge, right?
yeah.
Okay.
So I live up north. Anybody that lives south of us, like anybody that lives in the Detroit area, Ann Arbor area, Lansing area, Saginaw area, they consider where I am up north Michigan. That's what everybody calls where we live. But everybody that lives up here calls up north across the bridge.
Gotcha. Well,
so depending on where you live in Michigan, up north means different things.
So let me ask you this then. When I was watching Jamie's vlog the other day, he was showing us him going across the bridge where they had locks or whatever it's called, where you guys can suck out the water and add the water to make the boats do other things. I don't know. I don't really get it. Was that the bridge?
That is the international bridge to Canada in Sault Ste. Marie.
Oh, okay. That's the other way then.
Yeah. That's north. You go north. You go past the bridge. So he had to cross the Mackinac Bridge, and then to get to Canada, you have to cross the international bridge in Sault Ste. Marie, which goes over the Sioux Locks.
Okay. That's right. It was cool. That was cool looking at that stuff. I'd never seen like so much greenery.
Yeah.
There, everything looked so green. I like how like he gets there and he's all like, man, I'm going to miss everybody at home, but this is going to be great. And meanwhile, when I'm talking to you at home, you're like, I hope he's okay and I hope everything goes well. And you're all concerned. It's 3:07. He should have texted me by 3:06 and 59 seconds. And then he's all like, I'm having the greatest time ever. It looked great. He looked like Woody from Toy Story with his hat on.
He had a really good time. I loved all the footage that he got. Most of the footage that I put in the vlog, he filmed and his cousin filmed. So it was nice. And like his uncle was in the vlog talking about like the beaver dam and stuff. Like it was great that they all knew what was going on and participated. That was nice too.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. And I thought it was cool because he's been around the vlog, so he knows how to vlog, but he hasn't done much vlogging. So it reminds me of a handful of years ago of vlogs where we were able to slow down. We don't have to be smash cutting and running around, and you could see the stuff, and everything looked so pretty. Like it looked really pretty there. It's different than my kind of camping. When I go camping, it's all like in this like dry, deserty, foresty thing and snakes and stuff. That one looked like it was like moist and like, I don't know. It just didn't look sticky and gross.
Oh, they had beautiful weather while they were up there. They got so lucky. I mean, it was nice weather. Everything was gorgeous, sunny every day. It was perfect.
The house.
I'm hoping that's what we end up with.
Right. The house in the video baffled me though. It was a house-ish.
Yeah.
And then like there was the bathrooms, and it had 2 toilets in the same outhouse.
Yeah, that's a 2-holer.
But what, like you and Jamie can go in there, but like you and I can't go in there, right? It's not like or is it super just public? Because it was just 2 toilet lids on a hole, which okay, that's fine. But then there was this thing on the wall, and it was the birch bark.
Somebody was weaving birch bark while they were in there. There's 2 holes in a 2-holer outhouse because one still is for girls and one's for boys.
Oh, okay. But hold on. What about that thing hanging on the wall, the birch bark? Is that to wipe your butt with? Is that kind of like the 3 seashells in Demolition Man?
No, there is toilet paper in there.
Crystal said like, oh, I guess that's what they wipe their butt with. I don't know if she was kidding with me or not, because I'm a little naive when it comes to this stuff. You know, I'm from the city. But that wasn't for butt wiping?
No. There's no running water there, though. That's just a hole in the ground.
Right. No running water, but like they had a sauna in there. Like priorities.
Yeah. Well, because you can take water from the lake, and then there's a hand pump. So there's a well, but you have to hand pump the water.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so there's not like you can't like turn the faucet on and the water comes out, but there's a well. You can hand pump water, or you can just go down to the lake and get lake water. So to take like showers and to run the sauna, they put water into the sauna from the lake, and then they turn it on, and then that tank holds hot water just like a hot water heater. It's just like a hot water heater. It will hold the hot water and keep it warm. So you take a bucket of cold water, and then you take water from the sauna, and it pumps it together, so you have hot water for a shower.
It's like the pumps, like the Helen Keller pump, right? Where like the dude's like pumping the thing, and then water's coming out.
Yes.
Okay, where does that water come from?
The ground.
Well, in the pipes in the ground, right?
No. Oh my god, that was hilarious.
Well, okay. Here's what happens. So there's that mechanism above the ground, and then it just connects to the pipe. So instead of having a faucet like we do now, where you turn the knob and it comes out, you just have to like pump it out of the line,
out of the ground. Dan.
How does it? But there's dirt and mud in the ground. It's not mud. Wasn't coming out. So I'm confused because the water. Clearly I'm missing something here because the water would look clear, and like if they're drinking the water, it can't just have a bunch of dirt and worms in it.
You have to boil the water before you can drink it.
Oh, so I push the button, it comes out, and then I have to boil it. Fine, but where's all that? Like, how's it straining the dirt and stuff? Where's that at?
You have to do that yourself.
So dirty, mucky water is coming out.
No, because it's groundwater. It's not. So we have in Michigan, we have a lot of, in Canada, a lot of limestone. So we have underground rivers and we have underground caverns, and there's a water table underground. You guys you have water tables underground, but not like we do. There's water tables underground. So those pumps pull the water from under the ground. It's not in the dirt. It's literally water underground.
Okay, so I'm literally sticking a straw into the ground and sucking the water from out of the ground.
Yes.
That's like fracking. What happens if I suck all the water out from underneath me? Do I fall into this hole where the water used to be? And this is like legit. Like, I really don't get this.
Yes. So, next time you come here, which you probably won't, but whatever. I will have to take you to the cracks in the earth, and Jamie will have to explain to you how the cracks and the sinkholes in the earth work.
I know. You guys drank it all.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happens. The underground rivers and the water that flows underground erodes the ground, and then, yes, the ground can cave in. It's not because you drink it all. It's because it goes different places.
So by that logic, in that movie, like eventually the house is just going to sink because they've sucked all the juices out from underneath it. But like it can't suck that far. What if you suck like for the 20 feet around you? Like how do you get more water?
There's water under the ground. There's a water table. I don't know how to explain.
Mine are pipes.
I don't know. There's no pipes because it's not hooked up to city water or city sewer. The government isn't giving you the water. You have to get the water on your own like they did back in the day. A long time ago, not everything was hooked up to pipes.
But it's free, right?
It's free, yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I guess so. I'm okay with that. I still am not absolutely clear, but we got to press on. I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure this pump thing out. I just figured it was hooked to the water line, and I'm just like turning it on and off, and then it's coming out.
No, it's not hooked to any water line, and there's no electricity. There's no power lines under the ground out there. Everything is run by solar and a generator.
See, this is what happens if you were to take me and pick me up and drop me in your neck of the woods. Like this is what, and like it should be me there with nobody to talk to me, just somebody watching me with the camera, and just try to have me figure out, I would have used the birch bark. I would have used the birch bark on my butt.
That would be so funny.
Oh man, everybody at home's like, oh my gosh.
You'll have to, after we end this, you'll have to look up like bore wells and hand pump wells and how a well works.
I think I need to look up how to go back to high school.
I have a well at my house. It's not a hand pump well. It's hooked up to electricity and everything, but we have a well that's drilled in our backyard and goes down to the water table, and that's the water we use to water the grass.
Interesting.
It's not hooked up to our house because the government came through and was like, hey, you have to hook up to city sewer or township water and sewer. And this was before we bought the house. And it didn't matter if we didn't want to. They had to do it. They required it by law. So, but you could keep anybody that had a well in this area already was able to keep it. But by law, I can't hook the well up to my house, which is stupid. But whatever.
But like, does the water stink? Like, does your grass stink like underneath the groundwater, like dirty earth?
Well water is the best drinking water ever. Greg has a well out at his house, and the water is so much better. It doesn't have all the chemicals and garbage in it. The ground is a natural filter for water.
But like your ground is full of like dog poops and peas and stuff in the water. Like it's got to soak down in there, right?
Well, yeah, but the well goes down further than that.
Oh, wow. Like, this is the more you know, Dan, the more you know.
It has to go down to the water table.
Oh. Well, you guys should check out Jamie's vlog, and you can see what I mean. I thought it was really cool. I watched it all. It was long, but like it was interesting.
It was long. That was one of the things I was worried about. I'm like, there's not really any dogs in it, and it's long, and people aren't really going to care.
It's
but
okay.
A lot of
it's a
really
good memory.
Yeah. And I didn't care. I'm like, I'm making this video because I want to make this video, and I really liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was good too. It's good memories, and it was cute to see Jamie vlogging and like showing the things, and he was nailing it. Like he knows he's been around it long enough.
Yep, he had fun. He had a lot of fun. I don't know when they're going back. They were talking about going back in September, but I don't know when they're going back.
Yeah, it looked like it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a neat place.
Yeah. So, speaking of a lot of fun, do you remember last week how we talked about Jason Nash tickets?
Yes. And
okay.
I said you can buy them.
And you said I should buy them. Yes, everybody said I should buy them, actually.
See? We all know best.
Yeah, you guys did. Okay, so I did buy them, and yes, I did get the upgraded VIP meet and greet tickets.
Yay!
Yes. So there's a good... Am I going to vlog it? Heck yeah, I'm going to vlog it. There's a good chance that he'll be in one of the videos. Or... he'll like me and take me back to his house. Wait, that sounded weird. I mean, like, take me with you. I don't know. Take me with you back to David's house.
I want to be in a bit. Just let me be in a bit.
Dude, I try to look for his merch, and there's like a $30 shirt that just says Nash on it, and I had it in the cart. I'm like, what are you doing, Dan? What are you doing? Stop it. And there was some other like I'll rest when I die shirt, but it had misspellings in it. Otherwise,
did it really?
Yeah, it did. Otherwise all the other shirts are like light blue or white or pink, and I don't agree with the merch because I think I'm too old for this demographic, even though he's older than me.
It's weird colors. I like the I'll rest when I'm dead. I like that, but I don't like any of the shirts that it's on. Yeah,
the one that I saw that said that on it had it really thin font in the front and a big picture on the back with misspellings on it. They had a pop-up store today in Santa Monica. It was like an hour from here. There's a big pop-up store going on.
They did one in Chicago a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. That's pretty cool. You just go there with a bunch of merch. You'll sell out all of it.
Yeah.
In and out. I like it. So yes, I will go see Jason Nash in November with Blake. It'll be a fun day. Can't wait to eat Comedy Store food. Or the Improv. It's at the Improv. So I can't wait to chow down on some Improv nachos or some curly fries. I imagine they'd have some curly fries.
I'm sure we'll have all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. I think you'll enjoy it.
Right. So this Great Alaskan Race Movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
The story told the right way.
Okay, so I just only know, okay, I watched the trailer and I was confused on the trailer, so I can kind of explain to you what I think it is, and then you can tell me what it probably really is, because I'm sure it probably isn't what I think it is.
Right.
So, okay, hold on. You got to get down, Kumiko. I'm podcasting here. Oh my gosh.
I'm vlogging
here. That's probably the best thing from Shay Carl. I'm vlogging here. Okay, right. So I watched the trailer, and it's like this dude, and he was like, it's just like everything. He was like a pro Iditariter, and then like he Iditaroded out, and he's not doing that no more. And then it's really
wait. This takes place before the Iditarod was a thing. Okay, go on.
Like what year would these been then yet? Because you said it's true, right?
It happened in the 30s.
Holy cow! Okay. So that's crazy long ago.
Yeah.
Okay. So this dude, this Iditarod capable man, Everything's like snowed in, and the whole town got sick. The whole town got influenza. They're all sick. They can't fly in the NyQuil, so they have to call in the Husky Man to take all the NyQuil to this town because all the children only are like dying of like, you know, stuffy head, fever, nausea, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea. So he takes all the NyQuil and he puts it on his dog boat, and then he sails it over to the town and saves the day. They called it the Great Alaskan Race, but I thought a more fitting name for the movie would be NyQuiltopia. And it's just going to be sad. You know they got to lose a dog. You know they got to lose a kid. I won't cry over the kid.
You don't read books, but if you ever do an audiobook, get the audiobook. And this goes for everybody listening as well. If you read books, read it. If you don't read it, get the audio version. The name of the book is The Cruelest Miles.
Ooh, I like that name better.
Yeah. Yeah, they could have named the movie that. You're half right. You're not really even close to half right.
I mean, did I at least get a D-? Like, or was that pretty off?
Yeah, it was a pretty good book or movie report.
Okay, so what is it for reals? Because this has been going around. People want us to talk about this. So you said it's a true story.
It is a true story. It's a story about the diphtherium run. It is the story about how basically the Iditarod is the race that came after this. It was in I think it was in 1925 or not, somewhere between 1925 and 1930 was when it happened. There was, it was called diphtheria. And there was kids in a little tiny town in Alaska. There were actually kids in multiple towns in Alaska that were dying from diphtheria, and they needed an antitoxin. So yeah, basically not NyQuil. It would be more like I don't know what it would be. Like if a snake bites you and you need an antitoxin. That's more of what it is.
Okay. I thought it was set like in the 90s.
No, this happened in like the 20s or 30s. And basically the movie is called The Great Alaskan Race because the Great Alaskan Race is the Iditarod. This is the foundation of the Iditarod. So
maybe like they did his run? Like that's the Iditarod is doing that dude's run?
Yes, that is the idea behind the Iditarod. The Iditarod is where he raced.
Okay, so is his last name Iditarod? Did they at least name it after him?
No, there was multiple people that did it, but the main guy in this movie is named Leonhard Seppala.
Gotcha. See, I'm hooked now because that's right. I never knew that, and every time we ever talked about that, you never told me like, oh, it came from this dude. That's cool. I want to see it now. It looked interesting. It was all over the place a little bit. It was a little bit like, I don't know if it was comedy, but it was like sad looking. Then it was heroic, and then there was dogs. They look big. They look bigger than your dogs. Why didn't they cast your dogs?
Leonhard Seppala's dogs are a little bit bigger because they're called Seppala Siberians. They're Siberian Huskies. They're not Siberian Huskies. They're Seppala Siberians. They're basically what he designed as a sled dog. And there are actually Seppala Siberians still to this day that are direct descendants of his dogs. They're not as popular of a breed because they are more for racing. I have a friend of mine that actually has a whole team of them. I have a couple friends of mine that have them, but I have one friend of mine, and that's all she runs is Seppala Siberians. But yeah, the movie it's basically about the diphtherium, the serum run, I guess is what they really call it, because that's what they were taking.
So I was pretty close with NyQuiltopia.
Yeah, kind of.
I'm interested in this. Did it say when it's coming out?
I think October.
Will you have any interaction with this movie at all? Kind of like how that other movie was super rad.
Alpha, I have no idea because this movie isn't being produced by like a big studio. If it was, we probably would have taken part in helping to promote it. I would love to help promote it. I'll probably do it anyway. But I would like to know more about it and really like you said, the trailer I kind of watched and like I was like, so I don't know, as a kid, did you ever watch Balto?
I was a little old for Balto, I think, maybe. Like it just wasn't in my genre, but I can see this little like white, grayish husky bouncing around and with its tongue out. That's all I know about Balto.
I think you're thinking Bolt.
Oh, I think you're right. Then no, I have not. Then I don't know.
Balto's a different movie. Balto's a movie that came out years ago, and it kind of told the same story, but really inaccurately. They talked about Balto being... They didn't even have... So Togo is the real hero in the diphtherium run, in this whole serum run. Togo ran the most miles as the lead dog, bringing the medicine into Nome, but Balto was the lead dog for the last few miles into Nome. So Balto was the dog that everybody celebrated, where Togo was the dog that ran first. This movie, from what I've read, looks like it's going to kind of bring back that and kind of show that the real hero, not that they weren't all heroes, all the dogs were heroes to be able to do that, but that Togo should have gotten better recognition than he did, if that makes sense.
Yeah. How did you know all that stuff out of the trailer?
How did I know that? Well, he called the dog Togo.
Oh, okay. I'm interested.
And if you know anything about the serum run, because I do, because I have that breed of dogs and I've read multiple books, and yeah.
I don't. It's okay. I didn't know what Pompeii was, or I think I had to have Chernobyl explained to me, so it's okay. Like it's right on par with that.
Right.
But I'm
excited for the movie. I think, like you said, it's gonna be sad. It was sad. It was very sad. And it wasn't just Leonhard Seppala that ran the serum run. I believe there was like 20 or 25 mushers with teams that worked together to bring the serum in. And I know that like they thought it was like this really archaic method. They're like, we could fly it in with planes, but they couldn't fly it in with planes because the weather was so bad. And then every time they tried to take it in with the plane, they couldn't take it in with the plane. And then they kind of devised this plan to use the dogs, and everybody thought they were nuts.
Yeah,
but it worked.
That's a cool story. Like, I didn't realize when it finally got to what the storyline is like, I didn't know it was real, because I'm like, wow, they really went through a lot of things to show you how desperate they were. Like, there's dying kids. You got to get the stuff. I'm like, okay, that's the motivation. I didn't know it was real. I'm like, that's an awful lot of motivation just to get to the point where we need to make the dogs be the stars and they have to deliver the stuff from A to B. I didn't realize it was real. So that's why I was just like, huh, that's a sad thing to have to come and like rescue.
Yeah, it's real.
Oh.
It's real. It really happened.
And
like I said, that was kind of the foundation for the Iditarod. They pretty much run pretty close to the same trail.
That's really neat. I didn't know about that part. That makes it way cooler. Remember when I did the Iditarod on your guys' sled?
The dog sled. I do remember that.
That was fun. The wind was in my hair. Actually, the beanie was on my head and the snow was in my hair. It was really cool though. Like I could travel like that.
It's a lot of fun. It's really fun when you're out there all by yourself with just you and the dogs and listening to the dogs and just listening and really, really like working together as a team with your dogs. It's just, I don't know. It's feeling like nothing else. Nothing else compares to that. Nothing else compares to that moment.
All I remember is Dan, don't let go. No matter, like, just, it doesn't matter what's happening. Don't let go. Like, if the bear bites you and chomps you in half from waist down, don't let go. And all I thought the whole time was, don't let go, don't let go, don't let go. Oh my gosh, am I letting go? Oh my gosh, I think I'm going to let go. I'm not. I'm good. But yeah, that's all you did was just like, don't let go.
Yep. It's because it's dangerous for the dogs. I don't care about you.
Right. Forget Dan. They're just gone forever, right?
They would be gone for a while. It'd be hard to catch them. The worry when you let go of a sled is that the dogs, because they have lines and the harnesses, is that if they take off into the woods and they get tangled,
right?
Fights can happen because they're scared and now they're stuck in the woods and you don't know who's got a rope wrapped around where. So it can be really dangerous, really fast if you let go of your sled.
Yeah, that doesn't sound
not. I fell once. Jamie was watching me when I did it. I turned the sled around on the trail, on a straight trail, turned the sled around, and I slipped on my brake.
Ooh.
And I went down, and my feet were behind me. The dogs were running, and I had to try to pull myself forward I ended up pulling forward, and I let go with one hand and just took my hand and slammed it into the drag mat to slow the dogs down, yelling the whole time, trying to get them to stop. They don't stop if they don't want to.
Right.
And,
yeah.
But I got the sled to stop and was able to stand up, and we kept going. I've watched people tip sleds over and be drugged for quite a ways before we were able to catch. When we used to go to the races all the time, Man, we saw some gnarly turns and some. Ugh.
Well, now that Kira's a little older, have you had any thoughts in your head of like, oh, she's gonna be able to run, or she's gonna be like this, or she's gonna lead, or she's like, have you found any more place of where you think she's gonna be in the wintertime?
I don't know that she'll do a whole lot this winter. She'll learn how to wear a harness this winter, but I don't necessarily know how much pulling she'll do. She'll be kind of old enough. She'll probably be able to do really short runs. Right now, when I take her for walks and I harness all the dogs, she wants more than anything to be in front of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always, a fun thing to see. It's a good thing to see that drive. I want to be in the front. I want to be in the front. Because even if they're not in the front, that's their drive to run. Well, why are you in front of me? I need to catch you. And when I put her and Memphis next to each other and they walk, Memphis wants to be in front as well. So they kind of, feed off of each other.
Mm-hmm.
I think she'll do really good hooked up to a sled. I think she'll really like it.
Which means faster.
Who moves faster? Well, Memphis moves faster.
No, but it'll be a faster sled now, right? Like than it was before. It's like you're going to be going way fast.
Yeah, it'll definitely be faster.
Right, new set of rubbers.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
That'll be cool.
It will. It'll be nice to see how they do together. Kira's biggest thing right now. I mean, and she's still a baby. She's only 5 months old. She's just very, very, very easily distracted. So we're working on that.
Yeah,
it's not real great, but we are working on that.
I was watching one of the videos this morning, and it was the one of you blowing out the dogs.
Yeah,
dude, that thing got such a spike. That was such a view spike. Like, what happened?
I have no idea.
Is this that time of year?
Yeah, the algorithm was like, we like this video.
Mm-hmm. It seemed like it liked it by like threefold. Maybe it's just the time of the year and it's time to blow out the dogs.
I don't know. Sometimes, it's a good thumbnail. Sometimes I honestly don't know why. It was a fun video. I had fun making it. But it definitely did better than some of the other videos I've uploaded.
When you're making the treat video that you're making right now, like today on Saturday, when does that go up?
It'll go up Tuesday.
Oh, okay. So what were you making in the treat video then, since this doesn't go up until Wednesday?
Granola bars for dogs because we're going camping.
Oh, nice. Could I eat the granola bars?
Yes.
I think all the dog treats, I can eat everything, because if it's good for me, it's going to be good for the dogs, right?
Yeah, these granola bars are definitely going to be interesting. They're a little bit more sugary. I didn't add sugar. It's got maple syrup and honey in it.
So it's got natural sugar.
Yeah, so it's got natural sugar, natural sweeteners in it, which is, I don't normally use as much as I did for this, but I'm making granola bars. But the idea behind it is I'm going to make like little granola squares, and then when you're camping and you're out hiking and you need that burst, it's supposed to be for a little bit more energy.
Okay.
Which is okay. It's not something we're going to feed them all the time. It's not, I feel like I say that in every video. This is a treat. It's not a meal replacement. This is a supplemental treat. You just feed them as a treat.
Yes.
But that is what it is. It's just a treat. But because I used maple syrup and real Michigan honey and peanut butter, they smell amazing. Jamie and I are making some for us, but literally the only difference is I used rolled barley flakes for the dogs. We'll use rolled oat flakes for ours. We'll add peanuts to ours.
Yeah.
And we'll add brown sugar to ours as well.
That sounds good.
Yeah, so we're going to make some for us too. But like for the dogs, I left out the peanuts because Shelby's on has to be on a more restricted diet, which is also why I used barley instead of oatmeal for Shelby. And then I didn't put peanuts in it because peanuts are really high in phosphorus. And I was already going to put a little bit of peanut butter in it, so I didn't want to make it so she couldn't eat them.
Right.
So I changed a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, they got Rice Krispies in them. They got blueberries and cranberries and coconut flakes.
You had me till Rice Krispies.
Yeah?
I don't know. Maybe old Dan liked them, and new Dan doesn't. One time I tried to eat beef. Okay, so my friend had a dog, and he had a thing of dog beef jerky. It was chicken, all natural beef jerky. But on the back it says not from human consumption. So I didn't eat it. Why?
Yeah. You're not... Because they make it differently. I have raw goat's milk in my freezer that says not for human consumption.
Right. Have you tried it?
No.
Huh. I wonder what that tastes like. Oh,
Goat's milk.
I bet it tastes bad. Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll be here all week. Guys. Don't forget to tip your hostess.
Have you ever seen raw milk before?
I mean, oh shoot. Okay. In my opinion, raw milk, it looks kind of just like, I don't know, like cottage cheese. It's just white. It's still white, right?
It's still white.
It's not blue or anything.
No, it's
They
still
don't
white.
bleach it like eggs.
It is definitely more chunky and not. It's more separated.
No, thank you. I can't do that. I'll eat anything, but I cannot put the texture of cottage cheese in my mouth. Imagine having cereal with that fresh milk. You go out there and you're like, dang, I gotta have my pops, and then you put your pops in your bowl and you go out there and you just kind of get a fresh squoze, and the cow's just like, you're welcome, and it's all chunky.
Jamie says milk straight from the cow is delicious, but I've never had it.
It's warm. Look, I would try it if you put the cow in the refrigerator first, but I'm not trying to drink some warm milk.
Yeah, I don't know. I bought the raw milk for Shelby because you can't buy raw milk for people, which is weird. The government doesn't allow it. For some reason.
Your stomach probably doesn't allow it either.
It's actually really good for you. If you actually read up the benefits of raw milk versus pasteurized processed milk, the raw milk is way better for you.
Oh, I bet.
But like I said, you can't buy it for people. But I bought it for Shelby, but she doesn't like it.
I'm a big fan of almond milk. That's the milk I drink.
I don't like
but what's it? Does it smell like it and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But she's just not having it. How do you have to give it to her though? Like in a bowl, like she laps it up like water, or do you have to put cheese on it?
That's what they said to do it, to just give her a bowl. You're supposed to give her like 2 tablespoons a day and then slowly work her up from that to kind of help her. Because it's got a lot of like the same things like yogurt has, the natural bacterias and stuff in it that help your digestion and help when you have an upset stomach and things like that. So I was hoping, since she's being really picky with food and we can tell when her stomach hurts, I'm like, well, if I can get her to get like 2 tablespoons or a little bit of this in every day over time, this, according to what everybody's telling me and what I've read, this should really help her. But she doesn't like it.
Yeah, like I said, you got to put some cheese on it.
Yeah, she doesn't want cheese right now either.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want that. All she wants is chicken. That's it. And hamburger. She wants chicken and hamburger and bread.
Okay,
she really
sounds like me.
Bread. Yeah, she's like, can you just make me a sandwich? She wants
that's what it is.
Yeah, she wants whatever Jamie's eating.
Always.
And whatever Greg's eating. And then whatever I give her isn't good enough. So, which is typical. Like I shouldn't say she doesn't want cheese. She doesn't want cheese if I give it to her. If Jamie gives it to her, it's the greatest thing ever. But if I give it to her, and I think it's because for the past couple days, I've been giving her like her supplements and her pills and the things that she now has to be on because she has kidney disease. And I think she looks at me like, you're evil and I don't like you. And you're going to put things in my mouth that I don't like. So I'm not eating anything you put in front of me.
Yeah, bad cop.
Yeah, because even this morning or this afternoon, I went to feed her lunch because I fed her lunch right before we got on the podcast here. And I got out the chicken. I tried the chicken and rice. She wanted nothing to do with it. So I got just chicken. And she looked at me and she licked her lips and I could tell she wanted it. So I handed the bowl to Jamie and he gave it to her. She ate it.
Of course.
Yeah. And then I had a piece of bread and she wouldn't eat that for me either. So I gave it to him. She ate it.
You're right with your theory. Yep.
She thinks there's going to be medicine in whatever I'm giving her or something gross. So now it's like we're back to, okay, now we got to trick you.
Right.
If I put it in the microwave and heat it up and then give it to her, that's okay.
But she's not wrong. She's right. You are giving her the stuff, so she's right. So it's just doing its instinct thing. Oh, poor Shelby.
Yeah, she's doing good. Her weight's maintained. It's really hard on Jamie and I, especially right now because it's so hard to figure out. Like we don't know what we're doing, and I'm learning all these things she can and can't eat, and then it's like, well, she can't eat this, but she can have a little bit of it, or if she won't eat, she should have some of this, and it's like, oh my god, just eat.
Right.
She won't eat kibble at all right now. She doesn't want any of her kibble. I had somebody say, switch her to raw. And I'm like, yeah, 1, she can't have that much protein. 2, she won't eat it. She won't eat it. So you can't just make her eat stuff she won't eat. But she's doing good with the chicken. And then I've been taking because she's supposed to be eating rice because she needs extra carbs, which is why she's getting white bread. So I've been taking the rice and I throw it in the oven when she doesn't eat it. And I basically turn it into chicken and rice crackers or cookies, I guess you could say.
And that works?
And it works. So
that kind of sounds good.
I turned them all. Yeah. The other day I turned everything she wouldn't eat into muffins and she ate 7 of them.
Did you eat any of them?
No. They smelled like meatloaf.
I want to try it. Well, hold on. What's in that? What was in the muffin? I want to know.
It was the muffins I made was barley and hamburger.
Okay, I'm in.
And fish oil.
Okay, whatever.
And a little bit of breadcrumbs.
Yes.
An egg, and then like her vitamin mix stuff to give her all the other stuff.
Yeah, maybe it needs a few more ingredients, but I would try it.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't like carrots and beans and all that because normally I would put all that stuff in it, but she won't eat it. But she's never eaten that stuff, so that's not anything new. When
I look at your food video with the granola bars that you were making, am I gonna want them?
Yeah.
There's all the stuff you make I always want. I was like, man, I want that, and I want that licoricey thing, and I want that cookie thing.
Yeah, the granola bars look really cool.
Oh, that's gonna be good. So, yeah. So by the time you listen to this, that video will have been up, and I'm sure you guys will have watched it.
Probably.
Speaking of Greg, you mentioned something the other day about Greg and his brakes. What was that story about? We didn't get to talk about that, so we're gonna air it out. We'll air it out here.
So yesterday, Greg gets off of work every day at 5:00, and sometimes he comes over. Sometimes he goes straight home. Sometimes he swings by, and we go to the grocery store. Or he'll swing by just to say hi to Shelby, or whatever. He'll come over, and him and Jamie will just sit outside and talk. And it depends on what he wants to do. He doesn't have internet right now. His internet's been down, so we've seen him a lot more. Because sometimes he comes over and uses our internet, which ours doesn't work either, but he has none right now. So he called me yesterday, which he doesn't normally call me. I normally get like a message or he just shows up, which, that's typical. We always tell him, if you want to come over, just show up. We don't care.
Right. How many years has it been?
I don't know. I've known Greg 25 years.
Yeah, right.
So yesterday the phone rings and where was Jamie? Jamie was outside with his cousin. His cousin stopped by. So the phone rings and it's Greg. And he goes, hey. I'm like, hi. He goes, what are you doing? Nothing. It's not. Why? Nothing. And he goes, what's Jamie doing? I'm like, what the? He's outside. What? And he goes, I'm coming over. I'm like, okay, you never call when you come over.
Right.
I blew a brake line. I'm like, oh, all right. So you need your Jeep fixed. I got it. Because
right.
He's like, I'll tell you about it when I get there. And I'm like, okay, all right, cool. So he comes over and he gets out of his Jeep, and I can tell he's just pissed because he blew a brake line, and he wanted to go home. It was Friday. He has all the stuff he's got to do, and he's got work to do at home, and he's like, I just wanted to go home, and I was so excited. And he went to the gas station and he put gas in his Jeep, and as he pulled out of the gas station, I think he said, yeah, that was what it was. He pulled out of the gas station and he went to go through the intersection that he had the right of way on, and 2 guys stepped off the curb right in front of him as he started to go.
Oh.
So he was not happy and he slammed on his brakes. He goes, I didn't have to slam on my brakes, but I needed to make a point. So he slammed on his brakes and honked his horn. And when he slammed on his brakes, he blew a brake line.
Oh my God, that's the worst. That is the worst timing ever. And these people are standing right in his headlights?
Yeah.
What's that feel like?
What does what feel like?
What does that feel like? You just push it and there's just nothing and just keep going?
Well, usually you still stop when you blow it. So the brake line will blow. And then when you get to your next stop, you'll try to stop and you'll realize that you blew a brake line.
Gotcha. I have this visual of him trying to hit the brakes and 2 people are walking across the street with that big pane of glass, walking across the street. And he's like, no! And he goes shattering right through it.
He managed to stop, and they yelled at him, and he yelled at them, and because he had the right of way, and because it was a light, he was at a light where it happened. Right. So they walked out in the road, and they, they're pedestrians, but you can't walk when the light's green, and you're not supposed to. The walk sign's not on. Don't walk.
Right.
So, yeah. So he came over last night, and it was so funny. He has metal brake lines on that Jeep, so they went and got a brake line, and then they came back and they took the Jeep took all the pieces off, and then they got underneath there and the brake line wasn't long enough, so they had to go back and they had to get a different brake line, and then the end on it wasn't wasn't right, so they had to go back. So Greg didn't leave till like 8:30.
Dang.
But they got his brakes fixed.
Yeah, well, right. I was gonna say, you guys have never paid a dime for a mechanic ever, have you?
I mean, yeah.
But no.
But not normally, no.
Not really. I mean, your car, I get. You have a modern piece of machine, but like, you guys are always just fixing things. You remind me of the fair when I was at the fair last night, and everybody they were all proud of their little gas motors they built, and they're all. And I'm not sure what they're doing. I think it's nothing. It's just like, hey, look, it's life, and they were all proud of it. And I feel that's what you guys are doing. Like, you guys are always just making the things work.
Yeah, we're pretty good at that.
Yeah. So he almost smashed into people. I thought you were going to tell me that like he went through a barn and the chickens went flying everywhere and the hay, and he went smashing through some lady's well that I just learned about what was a well. And well, that's good that he's okay and nobody got run over.
He's okay. Nobody got run over. So that's a good thing.
Yes.
But yeah, it was interesting. It was an interesting conversation to have him call me and be like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Why are you calling me?" I didn't understand why he was calling me. And then I'm in the back of my brain, I'm like, "What's going on? Did he get arrested?"
Right. Hey, Jess, real quick before we wrap it up, you made a TikTok the other day where because you just got your Jeep back.
I got my Jeep
Yes.
back, and it's so pretty, and it's so much redder than it was, and it's so nice.
Are you happy with the red?
I kept looking at it going, it's probably just that red because they washed it. I went to pick it up, right? And the girl goes, I paid for it and everything. And they're like, we're really sorry it took so long. We just want to make sure it was done right. I'm like, I'm not mad that it took so long. I'm mad that you told me it was going to be ready multiple times and it wasn't. Like that, just, if it's going to take 3 weeks, please just tell me it's going to take 3 weeks, or tell me it's going to take 4 weeks. And then when it's done in 3 weeks, I'll be really excited. So that was, what I was upset about. And I kind of told her that, and she's like, yeah, I understand that. She's like, they just wanted to make sure everything was done right. She goes, I gotta ask. And I'm like, what do you gotta ask? And she goes, what kind of dog do you have? And I'm like, and I look down at my shirt thinking I'm probably covered in dog food right now, And I'm like, I have huskies. I have 3 of them. And she goes, oh, that explains all the white hair.
Passive aggressive.
And then I'm like, in the car? And she goes, yeah, we cleaned out your whole car. I'm like, you didn't have to clean out my whole car. And she goes, well, we had it for so long, and we wanted to make sure that everything was clean. I'm like, you cleaned all the dog hair out of my car? And she goes, yeah, it took quite a while. I'm like, and she wasn't kidding, man. I got in that car and I'm like, wow, I have never, ever seen it that clean.
Dude, when you came to California, I hopped in the back of your Jeep for something. I don't know, I was messing around. You had the door open. I hopped in the back of there and I got out and I was in a straight up furry costume.
Yeah.
I was instant fur costume.
It's so much hair. It's really nice though, because I'm taking my mom and my aunt up north tomorrow.
Right.
So I didn't have to take my car in to get it all washed. But I brought it home, got it parked out front, and I keep looking at it, because I tend to do that. And I took pictures of it and all those things. And I'm staring at it in the driveway, and Jamie comes out, and I'm like, is it redder? And he goes, I think it is. Like, I think they mixed the paint with more sparkle or something, because it just seems redder. And then if you look down at my tow hooks, 110% can tell that it is a brighter red, because one of the tow hooks that wasn't damaged is still the original color, and the other one is like super shiny, sparkly.
Okay. Cool. So upgrade on the paint job.
Yeah, so it's redder. I'm just really glad to have it back, because now we can go camping and I can drive my dogs places without having to worry about things. And it's nice.
People
nice to have it.
People at home are like, I'm happy that she's out of that death trap car that she was riding. But that TikTok that I saw the other day, you were in the middle of the freeway with your Jeep. It looked like the freeway to me. It sure wasn't a road.
It's just a road.
It's just a road. And you were like making a TikTok outside your car. But I did notice this big black streak behind you. And I couldn't tell if those like skid marks came from your Jeep or if Marty McFly was there, just seconds earlier.
Jamie said the same thing. He saw that and he goes, did you do that? I'm like, no, it's Hamilton Road. That's where everybody else does that. They take their cars out there and they peel out, see how fast they can go. But I didn't do that. It was just where I parked.
Oh, okay. Just a coincidence. Barely an inconvenience.
Yeah, I really didn't do that.
I
didn't know after I filmed it, and I'm like, oh, I didn't do that.
You're so adrenaline-y. Would you ever jump out of a plane?
No.
That's where the line is?
There's a lot of lines. Going up in a plane is hard enough. There's no way I'm jumping out.
Yeah.
No way.
Maybe
No,
when I was younger.
I would not bungee jump. I'm never going to go zip lining because I watched that episode of South Park.
Yeah, right. Yes. No. Yeah, I haven't done those things either. No thanks. But I'm not like you. You like that rush.
I like speed,
You like speed.
which is dangerous,
Mm,
but
At least you live in an area where you're like able to do that pretty safe. Like I said, we watched that High Speed Pursuit the other day here, and you saw how fast they were going and how they were going in and out of traffic, and that's way more dangerous than where you're at.
yeah, and I can't really say that it's that because I don't like going fast for long periods of time. I like getting up to speed at a fast rate of speed.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, you like to go quick.
Yeah. How fast can I get to 35? The speed limit's 35. I can get to 35. All right, we're good.
Before the intersection's over, 35 for sure.
Right.
Yep. Well,
But I did find out though that the Jeep is faster than the Charger.
yes, I did see that TikTok as well, and I watched it like 10 times because I couldn't figure it out. And you're right, that Jeep is faster than that Charger. I would not have thought that.
Yeah, it is. Not by much, but it is.
But see, like your Jeep is like meant to do stuff. It's meant to climb some rocks. It's meant to haul stuff. That other car is only meant to do one thing and go fast.
Yeah. And it's not even good at that. And it's so, I was talking to, was it Eric? I think it was Eric. The inside of Eric's car, Eric just got a Volkswagen Golf GT, and the inside of his car is gorgeous. I love the attention to detail in his car. And of course, he got a red one, which I think is hilarious. Everybody's going to have a red car.
I think so.
But anyway, yeah, the inside of his car is gorgeous. And I showed him the inside of that Charger. I'm like, it is so boring. The inside of that Charger was I don't know. It was just it was boring.
Right.
I didn't like the inside of it.
I think they were trying to capture the spirit of the original, but we're past that.
Yeah, I don't want the spirit of the original. I want the little shiny pieces and the little lights that don't really need to be there, but are there for just to make the essence of the car and just to kind of give you that feeling when you get in, like the lights in the cup holders that don't really need to be there, but when you turn your car on, I don't know. I like those little attention to detail. I like my Jeep with the red stitching. There's
Yes.
I don't know, stuff like that.
Yes.
And
me
the
too.
Charger had none of that.
I do like inside my Jeep that my cup holders and stuff have this little glow ring. As if I ever looked down there anyway to grab my double extra large American size cola. But I still like it.
Yeah. That was one thing I didn't like about the Charger though, was just the boring. It was just boring.
Well,
It was fun. It was fun to drive. It felt like a Cadillac. It was very smooth, but my Jeep's really smooth too. I'm so glad to have it back. And I'm really excited that I'm going on a trip tomorrow, so I get to drive it 600 miles in the next 2 days.
You'll be super happy. Does your Jeep have a name?
No, but I keep calling it the Husky Hauler,
Yeah, I like that.
especially now that I have it back. I'm like, oh, the Husky Hauler's back. And the other day, I'm like, maybe I should just get that as a decal for the back of it.
You can.
Says-
That would be kind of cool.
I think it'd be kind of neat.
All right, guys, that'll do it for this week's episode of the CC Mouse Podcast. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at CC Mouse Podcast. Hit us up with your questions on SpeakPipe at speakpipe.com/CCMousePodcast. And buy our merch at ccmousepodcast.shop. And thank you to everybody that bought our merch. We had a merch spike this last week. So tag us in your photos and your pictures of you guys in our merch.
We should start reposting those. If you guys bought merch, share your photos and we'll try to repost them on our Instagram.
Yes, I'll do it on mine too, on RFS Dan and the CC Mouse podcast Instagram page. So that'll do it. We'll see you guys next week. Same mouse time, same mouse podcast. Bye.
Bye. Whoa, did you hear that?
I did. What was that?
I don't know. The dog's going crazy. Apparently they're doing a thing. Yay, we did a thing.